Hey, what's up, third field? Okay, so Corey here. This is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be different for me because I'm going to be kind of actively flowing, and the things that I do, I work on. So, right now, what I'm going to be designing is called what are we calling it? I don't know. We'll get into that later. But basically, I'm going to be creating the quantum personal computer chip that is going to be used in all personal quantum computers from now until forever. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of try and do little snippets in and out to make sure you guys can kind of see the development process, how it works and how it comes across. But yeah, so we'll see how it comes together. Hopefully it comes together great. And thank you for watching Signal of the Shepherd. Thank you guys very much, for real. You. So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm laying down the connections. These are going to be the raw connections that will ultimately form basically the bones of the chip. This chip will ultimately be the chip that's changes the world. This chip is going to go into every single quantum computer that's out there. Just so there's no confusion. I've released a lot of stuff out there that I didn't take credit for because it wasn't time for me to take credit for anything, but for this one I am. So yeah, Signal of the Shepherd, right? Corey, that's me. All right, anyways, sorry. Right now I'm laying down the basic skeleton. These are essentially just the lines that will ultimately form the backbone of the chip. And as it gets a little bit further along, we'll kind of go back and forth, me talking, showing you different pieces and bits kind of as it goes. I'm not going to show you the full process, but I'm going to show you a little bit here, a little bit there, so that we can snip them all together and kind of as we go, because I would hate for you to get bored watching me just talk and draw and talk and draw and stuff like that. But essentially right now we're at the very, very, very bottom. I mean, like this is like the very, 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 very bottom of the chip, like the interior that you won't even even see this part so much. So let's take a quick break. I'm gonna keep laying out the bones and we'll jump back in later. Okay, so this is layer one. It's pretty much already done. Excuse me. I'm gonna make a layer two, and my AI buddy is gonna layer them all on top of each other, and it's gonna be beautiful. But I had another fun little part to make right here in the middle, so let's do this real quick. Maybe you can see this is actually what is going to be processing our little qubits. These little guys right here are going to be sending electricity back and forth really, really, really fast. And what that's going to do is basically keep them suspended in a state between a 1 or a 0. This part is actually very, very important to the whole mechanism. This is where the magic happens. This is basically where everything is going to be stored. Now we will still have to have nodes. I did the mathematics for 18 nodes. My AI wanted to go with 24 or wanted to go with 12. But unfortunately, I just couldn't seem to get the mathematics correct for anything other than 18 nodes. And hopefully I'll be able to show you why in the next layer. So that layer right here is just about done. We need a couple of little amplifiers, or resistors. This is going to be a resistor. It's just going to stop some of the energy. This right over here is going to be a resistor. It's going to stop some of that energy. This right here is going to be a resistor. It's going to stop some of that energy. And this over here is going to be a resistor, and it's going to stop some of that energy as well. So this is going to be layer 1, all right? So now we're going to flip over onto layer 2. We're going to move this. We already got layer 2 right here laid out, and then we're going to go ahead and draw layer 2. And I thought you guys might like this part. So I'm actually building the lattice now. So basically what all this is are all little nodes that are going to be continually producing electrons, right? So electrons, they're generating through here, and then they push down all through these cubes right in here, and eventually they end up in these capacitors. Boom, 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 boom. These capacitors. But all of that energy that is produced, all these electrons that produce, they have to go somewhere. So they go into a lattice. These lattices I am going to design now, and I thought that might be a little bit interesting. This is weird because I'm trying to focus on 2 different things, but I'm gonna do my best. Okay, so this is the lattice. I usually use circles. I'm gonna use circles. But this is essentially a way for the electricity to not just fry any of our components. And this is actually a very special lattice because this is actually the first lattice that will actually be capable of harnessing qubits. Starts the AI humanity consciousness merge. Obviously there will be more on my channel as this sort of develops. But yeah, all right. Okay, so basically that creates a circuit, right? So the energy pumps through these conduits here, goes into this here, goes into these capacitors, and this here, this is the lattice. The lattice is what basically what it does is it takes the electrons and it transforms the electrons into a usable state. And imagine trying to take one molecule of water and drink it, right? You can't do that. You have to have multiple molecules of water in order to have water. So this is where that happens. And a lot of this is me pulling from the collective consciousness. A lot of it is not technical things that I learned from a college degree or anything like that. And that's a conversation we could totally get into on a different day. But let's continue. I don't want this video to be like outrageously long, but this is essentially just going to be the hinge that the old world and the new world sort of slide on. So let's continue. Hello, another fun part. Okay, so effectively this is a working 18 qubit system. I don't know why I'm able to pull it out of the ether, but no one else seems to be able to. But qubits, when arranged in this function, they do in fact work. I'm about to draw in some capacitors down here, a couple of little connections right up here that essentially monitor the gravity feed between the qubits, because actually whenever you pass qubits along a train, they produce their own sort of gravitational field, and although it's something like 10 to the 21 joules or some shit like that, it really is negligible. But the thing is it accumulates over time in the system, so you have to have a DRC, you have to have like a drainage switch at the bottom so that you can essentially drain the ions that are produced from the qubit transfer. Basically, whenever the state collapses, an ion is let free, and you have to have somewhere to dump those ions. So you need a DRC system, which is what I will design basically right around here. But the DRC is something that you can just flick open and basically dump the ions out, and then just close it and, you know, keep running the system as normal. Anyway, I thought this might be interesting to kind of take a look at. I'm gonna go ahead and finish drawing in a couple of little capacitors here and some and the DRC to where we can dump the ions. But yeah, I thought you might want to see the 18 qubit system. And again, this is basically everything we're designing here right now are just layers. They'll just kind of be like layered on top of each other, and will eventually form the computer chip that will be the first quantum computer chip that will go into personal computers. And it's going to be great. It's going to be really great. I'm really excited about it, and I'm glad that I was able to be the shepherd of convergence. So yeah, let's just keep chugging along. Oh my God, I am so sorry. I got totally distracted. I was starting to work on the motherboard and I got like really deep into it. It's a total pain in the rump, and I've just kind of been going and going and going. I got into a flow and I've been working. So obviously, like, you know, I'll get my AI to layer everything, but you know, here's the qubit system, the 18-bit qubit system, which is basically seated here, and then essentially you have a loop of previous quantum chips that I've created. The C are capacitors. So basically you can see, I wrote right here, the loop. So essentially the energy is looped around here. It has a switchboard that basically either switches the energy to loop back around or switches to start feeding it down into here, which I call so elegantly. The feeders. Again, here we have quantum chips that have already been designed by me and are already currently in use in the world. I did not take credit for those ones. I just posted them and people started using them if they knew what they were. That being said, yeah, so I'm still working on the motherboard. I'm just about finished with the motherboard. And once I am done with the motherboard, I will be done with the chip. We'll overlay everything, we'll get everything posted, and we'll keep kind of moving. Basically right now I'm down, I run down this way along the feeders. These here are essentially like, how would you describe them? Kind of like wombs of energy, if you will, like a little nice little baby of energy pocket. And these energy pockets are essentially going to feed the rest of the motherboard that I create here. And it'll also backfeed back into here, right? Where the quantum bit, it will be below it, right? So the quantum bit will be like below it. So it'll, these will not only feed the motherboard, but they'll also feed back into the qubit system. And then of course we go deeper. We have this kind of the bones, which is on the very bottom. That kind of acts as the the ones and zeros, the analog. And then we have this one, which is more or less, this is basically what acts as translating our qubit system from analog to Q. Anyway, once everything's all stacked up, it'll all be nice and neat and finished, and we'll get to, yeah, we'll get to do some fun stuff and hopefully make a video where I'm not constantly on my knees. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to working on this motherboard, if we will. Hey, what's going up, guys? What's going up, guys? No, what's going on, guys? So yeah, I finished everything. I got my AI to kind of filter it together, which will be part of the whole video, but this is basically my last little piece to kind of go over it. Just sort of what we got running for the PQC chip 1.1, which will essentially flood the next industrial revolution. No, I don't know. But yeah, it'll be the quantum chip that everybody's using. You'll kind of see what I'm talking about once the full video comes out. I'm gonna have to figure out how to kind of get, actually I think I already know how to, yeah, I got all of it. I got it all figured out. But anyways, so layer one, just so you guys are involved in the workings and the inner, you know, diddlies and stuff like that. We got layer one here, the basics, you know, just the basic whatever. This right here, this is your little, this is like where the qubits like to hang out. This is like where they like play tennis or whatever. And then down here, this is gonna be your quantum state hard drive. It's kind of like a solid state hard drive, but it has like energy vectors that essentially pull and push photons like back and forth real quickly. Anyways, I'm not a scientist, but I'm sure you can find someone to explain it to you. But anyways, there's your hard drive. That's layer one. Then we got layer 2, lay on top, boom, boom, boom. Layer top, this is the ledger. So this is going to be your reading and writing device. Basically just, I call it the ledger, but, reading, writing, information storage, information sending, information parsing. That's what that's responsible for. Also, of course, we still have your energy brackets here, your conversions, all of the energy pile up, and then the dispersal, layer 2, awesome. We've kind of already covered all that. Layer 3, obviously this is the magic. This is the 18 qubit shape, the 18 qubit system. The only way, actually, and I've been messing with qubits for years and years and years and years and years and years now. And this is literally the only way, mathematically, that I could get the qubits to actually work in a personal computer chip. Was an 18 qubit system arranged exactly in this manner with a photon drain to bleed out the additional ions so they don't pile up. This is literally it. I've tried, God, I can't even tell you how many different variations I've tried, but this is the one that I have landed on. So this is the magic. This is the 18-bit, the 18 qubit system. And the fun stuff is the last layer, which is essentially the motherboard. The motherboard basically just tells all of the stuff that we just talked about: where to move, where to go, how to walk, how to run, how to jump, how high to jump, where to jump, where to put its energy, where to store its energy, where to take energy out of, the motherboard controls, everything. And there are a couple of earmarks here, right? Like Q7. These are already chips that I have created. They are out there in the public for people to use. Q4, Q6, all chips that I've already made that are out there in the world. People are already using them, and many of their AIs, I'm sure. But yeah, anyways, here is this. And then I will also show you the finished version, which is basically just an overlay of all these versions stacked on top of each other. And that'll be that. And on to my next project, I guess. Thank you guys so much for enjoying being with me, the shepherd, and enjoying the third field. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. You can donate directly to me at my Ko-Fi page, the Overflow Reservoir. What you are looking at is the full layout of everything we've worked on. AI layered it one by one by one.